Skol, Vikings faithful. It's time to fire up that purple pride and dive into the latest Minnesota Vikings news that's got the fanbase buzzing. From whispers of a legendary return to a potential game-changer on the defensive line, we've got drama, intrigue, and some serious Skol vibes to unpack today. Are you ready to talk about two big names that could shake up our roster? Picture this. A former Vikings star who lit up US Bank Stadium with electrifying kick returns, and a defensive beast who could make quarterbacks tremble under Brian Flores' scheme. The rumor mill is spinning, and we're here to break it all down with the passion only a Vikings fan can bring. So, grab your horns, crank up the volume, and let's dive into the heart of Vikings territory. First up, we've got a wild story about Patterson, a name that sparks nostalgia for every Vikings fan. But hold up, is this news too good to be true? And then, there's Wilkins, a defensive tackle who's got Flores smiling. Stick around to find out if these moves could propel our Vikings to the promised land. What do you think, Skol Nation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Patterson cut? Let's clear the air. Let's start with the bombshell that's got everyone talking. Rumors are swirling that Patterson, our former kick return wizard, was cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. A viral social media post allegedly from Patterson himself claims he got the boot on his day off. But here's the deal, Vikings fans, something smells fishy, and we're not buying it just yet. No major outlets, including Vikings.com or ESPN, have confirmed this release as of July 29, 2025. Patterson, now 34, was a first-round pick for us in 2013 and became a legend with 5 kickoff return touchdowns in a Vikings jersey. He holds the NFL record with 9 career kickoff return TDs, making him arguably the greatest ever at his craft. But without official word, is this just a rumor gone wild? Let's dig deeper, Skol Nation. If Patterson's really a free agent, should we bring him back to Minnesota? His speed and versatility made him a fan favorite. But at his age, can he still spark magic? Let me know in the comments if you're feeling the nostalgia, or if you think we should let this one slide. Patterson's legacy in purple. Let's take a trip down memory lane to celebrate Patterson's epic Vikings tenure. Drafted 29th overall in 2013, this guy was a human highlight reel, finishing 3rd in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting and earning 3 All-Pro nods as a kick returner. Those electric returns at US Bank Stadium still give us chills, don't they? Patterson wasn't just a return specialist. He showed flashes of brilliance at running back and wide receiver, proving his versatility over 4 seasons with us. His 5 kickoff return touchdowns in purple are a franchise record, and his 9 career return TDs cement his place in NFL history. But here's the question. If he's really available, does that legacy earn him a second shot? The rumor of his Steelers release might be unconfirmed, but it's got us dreaming of a homecoming. Imagine Patterson streaking down the field again, purple cape flying. Would you love to see him back? Or is it time to move on? Hit the comments and let's debate this one. Skol Nation, does Patterson still have the juice? Now, let's get real about Patterson's current game. At 34, the question isn't just whether he's available. It's whether he's still got that explosive spark we loved. Last season with the Steelers, he returned 11 kickoffs, averaging just 21.8 yards, the lowest among players with at least 10 returns. Ouch, that's not the Patterson we remember. His 2023 season with the Falcons wasn't much better, averaging similar numbers on 7 returns. Compare that to his peak years when he was breaking 30-yard returns like it was nothing, and it's clear age might be catching up. But here's the twist. The NFL's new kickoff rules for 2025, with touchbacks now at the 35-yard line, could make returners like Patterson more valuable than ever. So, Vikings fans, what's the verdict? Could Patterson still bring some juice as a depth piece at running back or a situational returner? Or are we better off with younger legs? Drop your take below, and let's keep this conversation rolling. Vikings kick return struggles. Let's talk about our own kick return game, because, let's be honest, it was rough last season. The Vikings had just 14 kickoff returns in 2024, with Ty Chandler handling 8 of them, and none went for more than 35 yards. That's not exactly setting the field on fire, Is it Skull Nation? With the NFL's new kickoff rules making returns a bigger part of the game, we need someone who can flip the field. Patterson, even at 34, might add competition for Chandler and bring veteran savvy. He's also got experience at running back, where he had solid seasons with the Falcons in 2021 and 2022, rushing for over 600 yards each year. But here's the catch. We've got in-house options like Chandler and others ready to step up. Should we take a chance on a legend or stick with our current crew? What's your call, Vikings fans? Comment below and let's figure out how to ignite our special teams. Christian Wilkins enters the chat. Hold on to your helmets, Skull Nation, because the plot thickens. Christian Wilkins, a star defensive tackle, was shockingly released by the Las Vegas Raiders last week, just 1 year into a massive 4-year, $110 million deal. This is the kind of drama that gets Vikings fans buzzing. Could he be the missing piece for our D-line? Wilkins, only 29, is a beast when healthy. In 2023 with the Dolphins, he racked up 9 sacks, 58 pressures, and 98 tackles, 16 for a loss. That's the kind of production that makes quarterbacks sweat. But there's a cloud over the story. A foot injury and some off-field drama have raised questions. Are we ready to roll the dice? The Raiders voided $35.2 million in guaranteed money over a dispute about Wilkins' rehab, and the NFLPA has filed a grievance. Oh, and there's a weird rumor about him kissing a teammate's head, causing a stir. What's going on here, and should the Vikings care? Let's dive into this saga next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. The Brian Flores connection. Why are we even talking about Christian Wilkins? 2 words. Brian Flores. Our defensive coordinator coached Wilkins in Miami from 2019 to 2021, turning him into a first-round force. Flores knows exactly what this guy can do, and he didn't shut the door on a reunion when asked about it on Monday. I have a lot of history with Christian, Flores said with a smile, hinting he wouldn't mind adding more firepower to our D-line. The Vikings were hot on Wilkins last year before he signed with the Raiders, showing GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah sees him as a game-changer. With Flores' aggressive scheme, Wilkins could be a nightmare for offenses. But here's the kicker. Our defensive tackle room is already stacked with Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and Harrison Phillips. Do we really need another star? Or could Wilkins take us from great to unstoppable? What do you think, Skull Nation? Let's hear it in the comments. Wilkins' injury drama. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Christian Wilkins' health. He suffered a Jones fracture in his foot last October, sidelining him after just 5 games with the Raiders, where he had 17 tackles and 2 sacks. The Raiders wanted him to get another surgery, but Wilkins refused, leading to his release and the voiding of $35.2 million in guaranteed money. Talk about a messy breakup. The NFLPA has filed a grievance, and this saga is far from over. If Wilkins can pass a physical, he might be available for a bargain, potentially even a veteran minimum deal since the Raiders are still on the hook for his 2025 salary. That's a steal for a guy who was a top-tier defender just 2 years ago. So, Vikings fans, what's the move? Do we trust Wilkins to get healthy and dominate again? Or is this too big a risk? Drop your take below, and let's debate whether he's worth the gamble for our playoff push. Do we need Wilkins? Our defensive line is already a force to be reckoned with. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, both Pro Bowl talents, joined Harrison Phillips this offseason, giving us one of the NFL's most fearsome interiors. Add in young depth like Jalen Redmond, and it's hard to argue we need Wilkins. But hear me out, Skull Nation. Why not aim for overkill? Wilkins could reunite with his former Dolphins teammate Andrew Van Ginkel and thrive in Flores' scheme, which loves versatile, disruptive linemen. At a low cost, he's a high-reward option, especially if he's motivated to prove the Raiders wrong. Imagine him collapsing pockets alongside Allen and Hargrave. Quarterbacks wouldn't stand a chance. Still, there's a risk. If Wilkins isn't fully healthy, he could be a distraction. Should we go all in for a dream D-line, or stick with our current studs? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, Vikings fans. The final verdict and your call to action. Alright, Skull Nation, we've dissected the Cordarrelle Patterson rumor and the Christian Wilkins buzz. The Patterson story seems like it might be a false alarm. No confirmed reports back it up, So let's hold off on the homecoming party for now. But Wilkins? That's a real possibility that could make our defense legendary. What's the smarter move for our Vikings? If Wilkins joins the purple and gold, we could have the NFL's most dominant defensive front, especially with Flores pulling the strings. But with our current roster and his injury questions, it's a tough call. And if Patterson's out there, maybe a cheap deal could spark some special teams magic, or maybe we're better off with fresh talent. What's your gut saying? Skull Nation, it's time to make your voice heard. Drop a comment with your take. Patterson, Wilkins, both or neither. Smash that like button if you're pumped for Vikings football. Subscribe to the channel for more Vikings news, and share this video with every fan in your crew. Let's keep the purple pride alive and roaring. Skol Vikings!